can't shake the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. So this week, Congress heard testimony from Kash Patel, FBI director and man who looks like he just walked in on his parents having with a horse.
Donald Trump just took one of the hardest comedic hits of his life, and the person delivering the blow is none other than Desi Lydic. The moment she stepped in, she roasted him so fiercely, it felt like she stumbled onto his secret vault of bad spray tans and forgotten Big Macs. This wasn't some light jab. This was a full-on comedic ambush. Trump's ego didn't stand a chance. Buckle up, because what Desi exposes will leave you laughing, stunned, and definitely wanting more.
Bad for Patel. He had to convincingly pretend that his boss had nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein, and he was not
100 times?
No.
Then what's the number?
I don't know the number, but it's not that.
Yeah, okay? It's not that. Everyone just needs to calm down, okay? The president's name appears in the pedophile sex crime report a normal number of times.
Before we get into the chaos, hit that like button and subscribe, because what's coming next is something you don't want to miss. The thing about Donald Trump is simple. Every time you think he's reached peak embarrassment, he somehow digs an even deeper hole. He's a never-ending fountain of cringe. A self-made parody who still insists he's the main attraction at the circus.
It does not look like Kash Patel can do this on his own. Mr. President, get down to Capitol Hill and show Patel you got his back.
The president left the White House today, heading to London for a state visit.
Wow, Kash did.
That's where Desi Lydic steps in. She finally had enough of America's orange-themed drama playing out like a rejected Apprentice reboot, so she stepped up with the precision of a comedian wielding a diamond-edged scalpel, and she cut straight through the nonsense.
For 100 days, or as he likes to call it, longer than any president in the history of the world. It should be a week of celebration, but tell that to the economy. Yes, the U.S. economy is undergoing what economists refer to as a George Costanza.
Trump's political career often feels like watching a toddler in a golden high chair throw a tantrum because someone took away his ice cream. And Desi wasn't interested in babysitting. She was there to make sure the kid didn't choke on the Legos.
I believe in a span of 100 days, we went from we will all be richer than we've ever imagined to everyone gets 2 dolls, all right? But if you're sad that playtime will soon be over for your children, take comfort that it's just beginning for the old commander-in-child.
The way Trump gets exposed almost feels poetic. You barely need facts, just a mirror. And Desi held that mirror perfectly, reflecting back every bit of his act until you could practically smell the hairspray and the desperation leaking through the screen.
Accidental dance moves are way more impressive than his intentional ones. Very weird. Anyway, I do understand why he was so frantic. That mosquito was also asking Trump about Jeffrey Epstein. Now, to be clear, Trump was not just wasting time playing golf. He was also wasting time profiting.
His accidental dance moves say more than anything he does on purpose. And that's not a compliment. No wonder he was panicking. That buzzing mosquito around him was asking questions about Jeffrey Epstein, too. Desi didn't just call him out. She cracked him open like a bargain bin piñata stuffed with lawsuits, unpaid bills, and stolen ketchup packets from the White House. Watching her roast him felt like finally turning off a TV show you didn't even realize was still running.
His troubles behind yesterday as he embarked on a 3-day state visit to the UK, his happy place where the king is in charge and vegetables are illegal. Of course, our relationship with Britain is not great right now. We're fighting over tariffs and Gaza and Ukraine, so there were a lot of issues to discuss on this.
And then comes his obsession with winning. If Trump is a winner, pigeons should be flying Air Force One. This man has filed for bankruptcy more times than most people call in sick. He's lost elections, court cases, businesses, and any credibility he once had. One perfectly timed joke from Desi, and his entire persona collapses into another "I was treated unfairly" puddle. And she didn't spare his followers either, exposing how they treat him like a mix between a motivational speaker and a discount salesman.
Donald Trump, who also moonlights as President of the United States. Yesterday, he went to Fort Bragg to give a speech to his favorite men in uniform who aren't in the Village People. He was there to commemorate the 250th anniversary of the Army, so of course he ended up discussing Joe Biden.
Imagine buying snake oil from someone who can't even hold a Bible correctly. That's the level of absurdity Desi highlighted. Her sarcasm was razor sharp, funny at first, then painfully accurate. Trump is already a parody of leadership, so when a skilled comedian breaks him down, it's like watching a magician pull endless scarves from a hat. Except here, the scarves are scandals, lies, and chaotic truth social posts.
Damn, girl, you got moves. What is this? Is he voguing? Shoe fly, sachet. Oh.
Yet he insists he's the most articulate leader in history. Sure, and my goldfish recites Shakespeare. As Desi explained, Trump isn't just a poor speaker, he's allergic to coherence. His thoughts explode into half-finished tangents every time he tries to focus. And still, millions applaud. Not because they understand him, but because they've trained themselves to treat nonsense as wisdom. And don't get started on his obsession with size, of crowds, polls, bank accounts, none of which ever match reality.
What happened here? America voted this guy out in 2020. And what has he done since then? He tried to overthrow the government. He was convicted of 34 felonies. He spent an entire campaign promising vengeance against his enemies. And if you're wondering who, after all of that, would want to back him up, well, buckle up.
When it comes to lies, Desi peeled back the layers one by one. Trump lies so effortlessly, he probably fibs about brushing his teeth. His entire brand is built on exaggerations that sound like late-night infomercial scripts. If lying were an Olympic sport, he'd take home gold and then claim he invented the Olympics. Desi exposed how fragile those lies really are. His Midas touch doesn't turn things to gold, it turns them into lawsuits.
So, all of America. You just listed all of America. Seems the only group she can't blame for Trump's victory are black women and people in comas. Oh, and puppies. Or puppies in comas. God damn it, I just made myself more sad.
Yet he still calls himself a financial genius. This is the man who bankrupted a casino, a place literally designed to take your money. That's like losing cash at a lemonade stand in the desert. Desi compared his business record to a child lighting Monopoly money on fire and calling it investment. Then she shredded the so-called Trump dynasty, revealing it for what it is, a soap opera in designer suits.
People would have gone with brightest bulb or sharpest tool, but Donald Trump took half of both and smushed them together. That is what makes him the cream of the litter. But again, Trump wasn't there to talk about Joe Biden. He was there to talk about America's proud military history. And that went...
He behaves like that guy yelling conspiracy theories on the street corner, except his pigeons number in the millions. Desi revealed that Trump isn't posting to lead, he's posting to feed his addiction to attention. He genuinely thinks his angry all-caps rants qualify as presidential statements. Desi proved otherwise, holding up his posts like receipts and showing the world the insecurity behind every meltdown. His greatest weakness isn't politics, it's comedy. Laughter destroys him faster than any investigation ever could.
Everybody into the Oval Office just to sell hats. He was there to sell something much more fancy.
We're going to be selling a gold card. You have a green card, this is a gold card. We're going to be putting a price on that card of about $5 million, and that's going to give you green card privilege.
And honestly, the timing couldn't be better. After years of exhaustion, chaos, and political theater, America needed the laugh Desi delivered. She reminded everyone that behind the fake gold plating and endless bragging, Trump is just a man desperate to be taken seriously, while clutching a cheeseburger in one hand and a list of complaints in the other. Her takedown wasn't cruel. It was honest. The crowd loved it because deep down, everyone knows it's true. Trump isn't a mastermind. He's a parody.
To rebuild it, and he wants to turn it into Mar-a-Lago. At least the Palestinians will have a place to go back to.
Donald Trump calling for the permanent resettlement of roughly 2 million Palestinians.
I don't think people.
Okay, just so I'm clear, your idea is to take over Gaza, rebuild it into Mar-a-Lago, and make sure that the Palestinians who live there.
Because in reality, Trump's legacy won't be brilliance or leadership. It'll be chaos, comedy, and a warning about what happens when reality TV tries to run a country. If Lincoln freed slaves and FDR defeated the Great Depression, Trump's biggest achievement was yelling at windmills and losing an election he still insists he won. And in the end, his downfall won't come from courts or rivals. It will come from laughter. History won't remember the rants. It'll remember the punchline. And Desi Lydic made sure the world laughed loud enough to hear it.